All right. So we're about to dive into a story that kicks off with one absolutely terrifying night and then just spirals into this long, drawn-out psychological nightmare. This whole thing is told from a first-person perspective, from someone who, yeah, they survived, but they were never, ever the same. So this is where our narrator, a guy named Ethan, starts us off. And this one line, it tells you everything you need to know. This isn't just a story about one bad night. Nope. It's more like a wound that just never really healed. A story that never got its ending. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story begins right here. We've got Ethan, all by himself, working the graveyard shift at a gas station that is quite literally at the edge of nowhere. And this isn't just a lonely job. It's a seriously vulnerable one. I mean, just think about that for a second. 40 minutes to the nearest town. That means it's 40 minutes until any kind of help could possibly get to you. Out here, in the middle of the night, you are completely and totally on your own. That feeling of isolation, that's where this all starts. So this was the vibe just before everything went sideways. You know, the shift was almost hypnotic. It was quiet, it was routine, but, and this is a big but, there were no security cameras. The owner was just too cheap to install them. The only sound for hours on end was that low, constant hum of the fluorescent lights. It's this perfect picture of quiet, unprotected normalcy, just waiting for someone to come along and shatter it. And then it happens. The silence breaks. A complete mystery wrapped in violence is about to walk right through that door. You know that simple, everyday sound? The little chime of a door opening? Well, on this particular night, that chime is basically the starting pistol for this terrifying encounter. And all of a sudden, that hum from the lights isn't the only sound in the station anymore. So this is the first real shock. At first glance, Ethan's brain just registers a normal guy. You know, tall, athletic looking. But that image just instantly evaporates, because then he sees the blood. And we are not talking about a little cut. We are talking about a horrifying amount of blood. It's the kind of sight that just freezes you, your brain just scrambling to figure out what in the world you're looking at. But you know what was even more terrifying than the blood? This. Someone covered in that much blood, you'd expect them to be panicked or furious or in pain, right? But this guy? His eyes were just vacant. It was this unnerving emptiness that just screamed that he was completely disconnected from whatever violence he'd just been a part of. And then he speaks with all the calmness of someone just ordering a cup of coffee. Don't worry, it's not mine. And that is not a reassurance. That's a statement that just cranks up the terror to a whole new level, leaving these two huge questions just hanging in the air. Whose blood is it? And what is this man capable of? So Ethan does the only thing he can possibly think of. The second the man leaves, he calls 911. But the danger isn't over. Not even close. It's really just getting started. And now it's about to get very, very personal. And there it is. That chime again. Only this time, it's not the sound of a customer. It's the sound of a predator coming back. The man isn't calm anymore. Now he's furious. He knows Ethan called for help. That counter, that one little barrier separating them, it becomes completely meaningless. He just vaults right over it. The violence is explosive, it's immediate. There's no talking, no threats, just a raw, physical assault. In this moment of pure, absolute chaos, it all comes down to this. They are on the ground, literally fighting for their lives. And out of just sheer desperation, Ethan bluffs. He screams that he has a gun, a total lie, born from pure terror. And unbelievably, it works. The attacker freezes for just a split second, and then he's gone, bolting out into the night. Now, you would think that's the end of it, right? A horrifying, terrible event, but a single event. But it's not. The threat doesn't just go away. It transforms. It becomes something way more sinister, a calculated campaign of psychological terror. So, months go by, and the man comes back. But he's a completely different person. The chaotic, blood-soaked guy is gone, and in his place is a man in a perfectly tailored suit just standing there, silent and deliberate. He's not here for a bag of chips. He's here for Ethan. This is no longer random. This is personal. When Ethan denies recognizing him, the man says something that confirms his absolute worst fear. I know you're lying. He knows. And with that, the memory of that night isn't just a memory anymore. It's an active, ongoing threat.
So the stalking just gets worse and worse, and it's so methodical. First, it's this silver SUV that's suddenly everywhere, a constant silent reminder that he's being watched. Then, one night, it gets physical again. Ethan's trapped in his truck, and he's woken up by his tormentor, just inches away, pounding on the glass divider like some kind of caged animal trying to get in.
After the guy flees, he leaves something behind in the truck bed. A small, absolutely foul-smelling bag, coated in something red. Ethan doesn't even look inside, he just throws it away. But it's this chilling little parting gift, a tangible, disgusting piece of the nightmare that just proves this was all very, very real. So this brings us to the aftermath. I mean, how do you recover from something like this? The physical threat might be gone, but the psychological scars, they stick around, leaving this permanent question mark hanging over Ethan's life. For Ethan, the only option was to run. He knew the police couldn't protect him from a threat this personal, this unpredictable. So he just erased his old life. New town, new job, all of it. Just a desperate attempt to outrun a ghost. Because that's the heart of it, isn't it? You can change your address, you can change your job, but you can't erase a memory like that. All those terrifying little details, the blood, the vacant eyes, that silver SUV, they're burned into his mind. He escaped physically, but a mental escape? That's just impossible.
And so we end right here, with the question that has no answer. This is what truly haunts Ethan. And honestly, it's what we're left with too. It wasn't just about what happened. It's about the terrifying why. Why him? Was it just random, horrible chance that night at the gas station? Or was it something else? It's a question that pretty much guarantees that this story, for Ethan, will never truly be over.